Happy Monday! It's about 2 p.m. and I'm off to train back. Wearing Gymshark top underneath, and of course I'm wearing another top on top. My Gymshark leggings and a tie up. Because when I work out I don't like when my top rises up and I just like to be more covered up. So this is the look. And as always, putting my Cobra grips so that I can lift my weight, make it more intense for myself. You just grab a bar like this and it pulls more to your wrist whenever you're feeling weaker here. So I've done back today, I've done 5 exercises, maybe 4 or 5 sets each, and also I've done 10 minutes on the steady highest incline of treadmill, just a walk for 10 minutes to get my cardio going. Another beautiful sunny day in London. Just did some grocery shopping and I should have filmed yesterday, but I didn't. Yesterday, apart from that gorgeous barbecue, all I had in the rest of the day just scrambled eggs, which were cold, because right before I left for the barbecue I cooked eggs for me and Matt, but then I had to meet Matt at the station, so I had 2 Tupperware boxes with cold eggs, and I ate one before barbecue and I ate one after. So yesterday I had the barbecue and also 18 eggs with 6 egg yolks. Well, Matt thinks it's disgusting. I think it's not disgusting, it's just food, you know, just look at it as protein and fats. It's good. And this is how a fitness fridge usually looks like. I have a bunch of cashew milk that my coach told me off not to drink on my prep, so because they go off date in like September, I'll have them in the summer when I'm off season. My fish oil, also of course eggs, broccoli and green beans, turkey mince, chicken thighs, chipolatas, cod, sea bass, and also some potatoes that Matt has. Obviously I don't have those. Lunchtime, Matt is cooking his 600 grams of chicken thighs and I'm making myself 5 chipolatas, and I'll do some egg whites as well. Because for today's breakfast I had a turkey pancake with 1 egg and 80 grams of turkey mince. You know, it's my favorite. And also I didn't want to have scrambled eggs because, as I told you, I had scrambled eggs for 2 meals yesterday. My favorite meal, 5 egg whites, 5 chipolatas, all cooked. You can see the macros on the screen. And of course some tea with some stevia drops. Perfect amount of sweet and salty. This afternoon I've also wrote a post about building a bikini body and my weight training journey, how I got started into lifting weights, my body inspirations, some things about my coach, and general info. So if you're interested, I'll put the link below as always. So that blog post will give you a general idea about my training prior to bodybuilding training, prior to weight training. And to shortly summarize, I've been doing ballet for 7 years, and also I've done some tennis classes, and I've done a lot of sprints in my school. I've never been a more endurance person who runs for a long time, no. And I wanted to bring out something that I didn't write in the article, and something that I will probably address separately in my more training specific videos, as I know you guys want to see my specific training, and of course I should do those. 2 key points I would say whenever you're starting your training or whenever you want to improve in your training. Number 1 is of course form. Learning a proper form is so important. That's why I always suggest to people to invest in a really good personal trainer or work out with somebody who really knows what they're doing, because if you build up your knowledge or your experience on an exercise that you're not doing in the correct form, you will end up injuring yourself when your progression will depend on adding the weight. Let's say, I don't know, I started squats with just body weight and I'm doing it in the wrong form and it's completely fine, but then I keep adding weight and I keep adding weight, and then one day, bang, you injure yourself badly. It's always also good to double check with a couple of people in terms of your form, because some things biomechanically work better with some people and not others. For example, for me personally, I don't really like to do squats, especially free weight. I do them sometimes on the Smith machine, but I much prefer to do leg press and squat machine or hack squats. They just work better for my body because I'm quite tall, so I have quite long torso and I guess kind of long legs. And the number 2 thing I would say that's the most important in terms of your training is feeling the pain. No matter how many reps people tell you to do, oh, do 10 reps with this weight, it means nothing because everybody is completely different. How you should really train is with intensity, and what intensity is just pain. Every set you do, you should feel really strong pain, the burning pain, and I think my personal tolerance to pain comes from my ballet experience for doing it of 7 years. You get incredible pain, you can't walk the next day or for the few days, and also you're being forced a lot to do the stretches. Especially my lower body is very tolerant to pain. You also need to realize when it comes to pain and working out, that you should just feel it in the muscles. You shouldn't feel it in the joints, in your ligaments. You shouldn't feel it in a muscle that you're not working on. If you're working on your calves, you shouldn't feel it, let's say, on your back if you're doing calf raises. So when I started my weight training, I didn't feel a lot of my muscles that I was working on. For example, when I was first doing my back exercises, I could never feel muscles in my back. All I could feel were my actual arms and biceps, because my back was never ever trained with weights before, and I just didn't know. Of course you have muscles on your back regardless, but they were obviously just small, not engaged, and I personally didn't feel my back for probably around a year, I would say 8 months for sure. I just kept pulling and kept pulling. It does become easier the more advanced you get, because then whenever you're working on the muscle, you know that you should feel pain in that particular muscle. But as a beginner, again, I strongly advise getting some kind of personal trainer, somebody who will teach you the basics, and then you can play around with them more and more. Again, form is number one. Drop your ego, and if you feel that you're not doing exercises properly, it's better to get rid of the weights and drop them really low, just so that you learn proper form, because again, you'll injure yourself. I've seen so many people, so many girls and so many guys just bragging about, oh, I squat this much or I do deadlifts with this much, but then you look at the video and they're not doing it exercise correctly, first of all, and second of all, they're not doing it in a full motion. You know, anybody can do a leg press or a squat with just a touch, you know, touch. But if you really want to go deep and push up, very few people can do it with the weight that they claim they can do. So drop your ego. It's really not about the weight. When it comes to bodybuilding, it's all about, again, tension and the pain in the muscle. If you're more keen about training for strength, which is great, you probably should be more interested in powerlifting, but bodybuilding and really shaping your body is not about the weight at all. I've seen a lot of amazing bodybuilders and muscle works who are probably doing some kind of, I don't know, exercise with even lower weight than mine sometimes. And when I'm looking at that, I feel like, oh my god, I'm stronger than them. But no, probably they've been doing a lot of reps, a lot of sets, and maybe this is their last exercise. So again, don't judge anybody, and don't think that anybody would judge you, especially people who have a lot of experience. This is just my little tip for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!